Okay, hi, hello. This is Trufina, and welcome to my channel, Healing with Hope and Encouragement, where I give you my experience of recovery and the lessons that I learned and encouragement from that lesson. So if you like anything here, you could give me the like, and also you could share with a friend and share encouragement and subscribe to my channel. So why am I telling my tale about my insurance coverage? You'll see in a little bit. But I wonder if the average American is prepared financially for when they or their family go through periods of injury, illness, sickness, recovering, suffering. I have been watching and researching and find out that several Americans are not prepared for that. In fact, about, I believe it's 58% of Americans don't even have $1,000 in savings. So are you prepared? And that is a question that really, yeah, I know who's thinking about that when is going wrong with them. But I did. I remember the paramedics all around me. And in my mind, what I'm saying is, okay, God, the children must be okay then, if all of this is going on with me. I bet they'll be okay. You have a plan because they must be okay. And I'm going in my brain. I'm like, okay, are they ready for a dead mom? Do they know how to do this? Do they have money? Do they have whatever? It got worse when I got settled and saw that I didn't die. Then I started to worry again. Okay, how much money do I have in the bank? Can the next mortgage be paid? How am I going to pay for this hospital bill? And it's interesting because as a nurse, I used to get that question all the time from some patients. Do I have to pay for this? You might be giving them a Tylenol and they're like, okay, how much is this? Some people literally ask. Some people are like, I need to get out. I can't spend another overnight. They're going to charge me too much. And as a nurse, I've always said to myself, why are they worrying about the bills? Why are they worried about their job? Why are they worried? And it's because there is so much insecurity around us where people feel like, they can't even take time off to take care of their health, where they think, oh, I'm going to get fired. Or it could be like, if I don't work, I don't get money. If I don't get money, then I can't get food to feed my children, or I can't pay this bill or that bill. And so much financial insecurity around, but it is something that comes to a patient's mind, believe it or not, when they are sick. And so for me, it was interesting though, on the topic of insurance, I think I had pretty much a lot of it. But when you're the main breadwinner, it's important for you to think about some different types of insurance as opposed to just your health insurance, because the health insurance really just pays for you to get care or pay a percentage. Okay, and for you to buy your medication or a percentage of it. By the way, there are some medications that are off the chain when it comes on to price. I mean, like 10 pills for over $1,000. Like, that's crazy, right? But there are coupons available sometimes, even if insurance doesn't cover it a great bit. You have to figure it out. And that's the piece that nobody tells you about, right? Until you get there and you're like, what? Now I understand a lot about patients who used to return to the hospital, and we call them non-compliant, but they can't afford the medicine, some of them, so they don't take it, or they buy it and they take some, but don't take it as prescribed, and then they get into trouble with their illnesses. But one of the things, I had health insurance. I had insurance called, hospital, I think indemnity or something like that, that allows you a payout for each day you're in hospital or whatever. And I had another one that covered critical illness, of which my illness was covered under that. Some of those insurance covers things like a heart attack or a stroke or one of those cancer or stuff like that. Those are optional insurances sometimes that people can have, but sometimes people don't think about that because you have to pay into these. And I'm not an expert on insurance, so I can't give you education on it, but it's a lot when you're sick and you wonder, how are you going to survive? Another insurance I had was also disability insurance. And then there's the emergency funds that they say we're supposed to have 3 to 6 months of expenses ready and available for if something like illness that turns chronic, acute that turns chronic, maybe long standing. So they advise you for that. Well, I had those, but dealing with the insurance companies became my full-time job. And I'm trying to recover from this illness because it turns out that it looks like they still don't want to help you when the time comes. And so I was on the phone sometimes for hours. My first payout of any one of those several insurance that I had was 8 weeks after my initial injury. 8 weeks. You call, you send paperwork. They're like, okay, this paperwork is not good enough. Your doctor needs to write this and that. Okay, then it's a problem to get your doctor to write it because you can't find them and they're seeing other patients. It can be frustrating. And then I remember one time my doctor sent the information and said, okay, I had a stroke, da 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 da, and the details of the treatment and everything. And the insurance company, I'm not hearing from them. That's the other thing. You don't hear. You have to keep calling. And then when I call, they're like, yeah, we saw the note, but we need a CAT scan. We need the result. It's like, okay, who was going to tell me that? How would I have known? So it's interesting to see what you have to go through as a patient. And I'm thinking, wow, if my cognitive function was worse, how would that be worked out? Like, who would be my advocate sometimes if I didn't have family members who made phone calls for me? And I think, well, that's an issue. I'm talking about insurance woes no one tells you about. And then not to mention the appointments and the phone calls and, oh, I will call you back, or the phone tree, that decision tree, press 1, press 2, press 3. By the time you get to 8, you forgot what they said. And then you have to make the phone call again to listen to the prompt again. All those little things that gets you so frustrated sometimes as a patient. But here's my encouragement with all of that. Well, first I'll tell you, before you get sick right now, if you're not, do your research, figure out what you have, send some of the information to a family member or a trusted friend so they will know what to do. Get yourself in order, because sometimes you don't plan for it. You don't think it's going to happen, but things happen in life to you or your family. So be prepared. The other thing I want to encourage you today is, if you're got as frustrated as I did with that kind of thing, insurance, the encouragement that I have is, in life, we seek security and protection in various ways. We look at insurance, we look at our money, we look at the people around us, we look at devices sometimes and systems. But I want to tell you, when I felt insecure about whether the insurance companies would come through for me with the benefits that I paid into, those thoughts consumed my mind at times because I was feeling insecure. In Psalm 18, verse 30, we are reminded of the assurance that we have in God's love. It says, as for God, his ways are perfect. The Lord's word is flawless. He shields all who take refuge in him. To me, that's encouragement, because I tried to take refuge in the systems and the people around me, and they came short. Sometimes they came, sometimes I have to demand, sometimes it was back and forth. So I couldn't fully depend on them, but I can take full refuge in God. He also says in Hebrews 13, verse 5, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. And that's my encouragement for you today. Earthly securities are temporary, limited, and subject to change. In a world filled with uncertainties, it is comforting to know that God remains steadfast. So be encouraged today. Share if you have someone who needs encouragement. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye now.